Hey guys, it's Oluchi for Ways Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on Ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
The relationship between homelessness and security challenges is multifaceted and far-reaching, affecting not only the individuals experiencing homelessness, but also the broader community. On one hand, homelessness can contribute to security risk, as individuals without stable housing may be more vulnerable to exploitation, violence, and involvement in criminal activities. On the other hand, security concerns can exacerbate homelessness, as individuals may be forced to live on the streets due to forces such as poverty, displacements from activities of vandals, terrorists, and, herdsmen like we see in Nigeria. And again, just a simple lack of affordable housing. Right? It's another beautiful episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name remains Osayuame Saleh, and today we're discussing the intersection of homelessness and security challenges. And our guest, Elijah Okideve, he will be joining me much later. He's the Director of Ops for Chris Ham International Limited, a security risk analyst. He will join me much later. Now, remember, Ways is all about you. You are the why in Ways, so be a part of the live conversation every single day. Add your voice to the discussion. You can also head on to our YouTube channel. It's at Official Upgrade TV. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, and invite your families and friends to also join the live show right now. When we open the phone lines, I'd love to really hear your thoughts on this topic. What do you think? In line with homelessness and, security. As always, let me allow you to ponder on my quote for the day. It says, "Those who choose to undermine the peace and security of our communities must desist or be prepared to face the full weight of the law." And this was from the chairman of the task force, CSP Aditayo Akerele. So we'll delve into the conversation much later, but first let me run off on a break. When I come back from that break, I'll let you in on my news interests for the day. Thanks for staying with us. So Nigeria loses 1.3 billion to tomato Ebola in 3 states. Very interesting story. So let me take the story. The federal government says Nigeria has so far lost more than 1.3 billion to the outbreak of Tuta absoluta, commonly known as the tomato leaf minor or tomato Ebola, in 3 states. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, said He said this rather at the ongoing 4-day capacity building workshop for financial institution in Abuja. The workshop is organized by the HOTI Nigeria in collaboration with the Nigerian Incentive-Based Risk Sharing System for Agricultural Lending PLC. Kerry said the outbreak had consequently led to the surge of 50-kilogram basket of tomato from 5,000 to 10,000 and approximately 30,000 naira, thereby exacerbating food inflation and straining household budgets. According to him, the states where the losses were recorded were in Kano, Katsina, and Kaduna. He explained that tomato Ebola had underscored the fragility of the country's horticultural system, adding that the invasive pest could decimate tomato crop within 48 hours, leading to catastrophic yield losses. According to him, the crisis highlights the urgent need for integrated pest management strategies, investment in resilient crop varieties, and enhanced support for farmers to safeguard the country's food supply chain. Well, I can tell you for free that, one of the biggest nightmares for farmers would be any form of, pest attack on their crop, because literally it can just wipe up the entire, the entire yield. That's like, and once it starts like that, it can spread really fast. So I understand what the minister is saying, and I'm hoping that they're able to curb it, because again, when this happens, automatic, like he said, food prices will go up. There will also be food scarcity and all of that. It's just a ripple effect, right? And most of these things can be curbed, with some level of, intentionality and the right tools to be able to curb them. Fighting pests on the farmland is not a joke, and it can be really expensive as well. So the farmers would definitely need some level of support. This second story. UTME mass failure is proof that anti-malpractice measures is working. That's what your Minister for Education said. Okay, hold your breath, Uwa. Dr. Tunji Alausa had said that the high failure rate in the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Exam is clear evidence that the government's anti-malpractice measures are yielding results, really, especially within the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board system. His remarks come amid nationwide concern following JAMB release of the results showing that out of 1.9 million people that sat for the exams, only 420 people scored above 200, meaning that they had a 78% failure. It says the reflection. It says that's a big concern, and it's a reflection of exam being done the proper way. The minister said that JAMB conducts this exam using a computer-based testing system. They've implemented strong security measures, and as a result, fraud or cheating has been completely eliminated. Unfortunately, we cannot say the same for WAEC. Really? Oh, my God. This man, who are you, Dr. Tunji Alausa? Hey, God of heaven. So your definition, right? Your definition of this, or your explanation that you could come up with this mass failure that was recorded, is the fact that what? That this is a measure that it has curbed malpractice. Ha! Well done, well done. This is the Minister of Education that we have in this country. May God help us. I don't understand how we think that it is because somebody failed that automatically it shows that, yes, we are working. Does it even make sense to you that you have said it? Does it make any sense? Ah, God. I wonder how we got to where we are, right? As a teacher, you have taught your students, you've prepared them and all of that. Do you think it's a thing of joy to watch your children fail? This is really sad. If this is the explanation you could come up with, I even have no words to say to you. Honestly, I have no words. Let me move on to my next story. What a shame. EFCC finally have released Very Dark Man. Everybody has done video on top of this Martins Oshes matter. So his release was announced today by the former presidential candidate Omoli Iyele Sowore And of course, we saw videos of him and his lawyer. I don't know if they have that video. They can play it as an SF, right? He's been released. He also expressed frustration over EFCC's handling. That's the lawyer. He expressed the frustration over EFCC's handling of the bail process, describing it as a social media bail, since the commission had not issued formal bail documents, despite announcing that his client had been granted administrative bail. He also said thanks to the unrelenting efforts of all the people that supported Very Dark Man, his detention was unjust, but finally he's been, released. Yeah. So you see this Very Dark Man case, really. I really could not be bothered what he was arrested for. And I think that is what everybody kept on clamoring. It is not about what he was arrested for that concerns anybody. It is the manner to which EFCC approached the arrest. EFCC have said several times that, yes, they had several times sent him, what's it called, invitations that he declined, he did not come, right? So, yeah, even when you find him in the premises and all of that, did you have to put it, because from the reports, it was alleged that a cloth was put over his head, and all of those things. And at first, there were no even forms of identification to say, okay, this is who we are, this is where we're taking him to, nothing. He had no access and all of that. So I'm wondering if EFCC is supposed to be, what's it called, they are authorized to arrest people. Right? You are authorized to arrest people. So I don't understand how the arrest was now done as if it was more like an abduction. So that is where we have problem. You can arrest Very Dark Man multiple times, as far as I am concerned. But please, whenever something is being done, let us do it the right way so that nobody can point any fingers to say this is a witch hunt or something. All right, on that note, I'll take a break. When I come back from that break, let's discuss, the homelessness and, of course, how it relates to security. Stay with me.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
So the Lagos State Environmental Task Force recently arrested 74 individuals during a cleanup enforcement operation in the Lekki area. The operation, which began around 1 a.m. on Tuesday, May 6, 2025, targeted hotspots known for disorderly conduct and environmental violations, including areas, or the areas that were covered were Falomo Bridge, Eco Hotel Roundabout, Oniru Beach, Nigerian Law School, Lekki Phase 1 and 2, 1004 Estate. The arrested individuals, comprising of 72 men and 2 women, are expected to face charges in court. Now, the Lagos State government had emphasized its commitment to promoting a safer, cleaner, and more secure environment for all Lagosians. However, the action had sparked controversy, with some questioning the morality of criminalizing homelessness amidst Nigeria's persistent housing crisis and the economic hardship. Before I bring in my guest, I'd like us to just take a listen to this video that is playing. Just, if we can get the audio.
Hey. Hey. So, okay. Where the second person? Baba, now you're picking me that?
Yeah?
Now, is that your son?
Not in my picking, but they sleep here sometimes.
From time. Oh yeah, make Baba self go. You go explain that one to. I go hear you tomorrow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, tell them they should dismantle this place.
Make her carry my
Hello. What you want carry?
I'm a cowboy for me here like this. Coach, come.
NIN. Hey, let's take carry his NIN. Let's take carry. Say, I carry your NIN.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna scatter this place.
Wait, make it carry your NIN. Ah. Omo.
Okay, so joining me to shed more light is Elijah Okideve. He's a security risk analyst and he's joined me via Zoom. Thank you so much, Elijah, for joining me this evening.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is
Yeah.
Elijah Okideve, and it's always a pleasure to join you.
Thank you for joining. So, this part of the video where the man was saying, please, can I take my NIN? It kind of like, it just moved something inside of me. I have mixed feelings, right? Because on one hand, I know what these people that, are just at different parts of, our streets, what kind of security risk they pose. They can easily be informants and all of that, just being there because they seem to be insignificant. People can actually use them as, agents for maybe information or whatever gathering and all of that for evil. But on the other hand, there's a real concern. People truly are homeless because they don't have a choice. They are not able to afford it. There's poverty. There's a lot of things. There's a high cost of living and all of that. So when you saw that video, what was it that played in your head?
Thank you once more. Well, for me, I always look at things through, the lens of security personnel. And if I want to remove myself from that lens, let me even start with the legal view of this thing. I don't know, many people are not aware of this, but we have vagrancy laws in some states in Nigeria, which doesn't permit you to sleep in public areas, like in parks, under the bridge, anywhere there's a public area, you're not supposed to sleep there. But, because how our laws are in Nigeria, they are not always so stringent. You see people trying to say, oh, the law doesn't work. Let's even look outside the legal view. Let's look at the security view as we're discussing. These people you see that you think are homeless, many of them are not homeless. There's a case we are looking at currently that happened in Lagos, I think towards a pay axis, where there was this man that was behaving like a homeless person, like someone that is not mentally stable. But he was an informant. He was giving information to kidnappers. In the evening, you see him, he brings out his phone, goes to one corner and is giving information. They caught him with over 10 SIM cards. 10 SIM cards. But people don't look at this and look like, he's not a beggar. He's just a beggar. People should leave them. They don't have where to stay. Yes, some of them truly do not have where to stay. But along the line, when these people stay there for a long time, these criminal elements come and meet them and form some kind of partnership and make them informants. You understand? There's some time, was not last year, I was heading towards Oni Raxis. I was heading towards the beach with a couple of friends of mine, and my car had an issue. And lo and behold, before I even fully stopped, I saw almost like 5 to 6 boys that just came around my car. And they were holding sticks and all kinds of things. And they were telling me, Oga, park well, Oga, park well. And I'm like, me that I'm trying to struggle with my vehicle, asking me to park well. And they were harassing me and my guest in the vehicle. And they were like, Oga, this place where you there, you go give us 10,000 naira before you leave here. I was like, come on. Do you understand? Many of these elements, you see them in the daytime, they do as if they're not a threat. But at night, they are serious threats at night. They steal people's phones. They do all kinds of things. We can't overlook these things because we are looking at them through the lens of, oh, they are homeless. Yes, they might be homeless, but there's a right way to do things like this.
Yeah, I was just going to come, because first of all, I wanted to ask that, you see, we cannot take away the fact that, I mean, I've traveled to some extent to different parts of the world, and I see homeless people there. In fact, I keep on wondering that, Kai, how do these homeless people cope in, like, especially weathers like in the UK or in France or in the US, where you have extreme winter conditions, but yet you will see them, you will clearly know that these guys are homeless. So homelessness is not something that is just unique to us here. It is a global thing. People are homeless. And I know that, I think in some parts of, is it Japan now? They intentionally clear homeless people from a particular, I think maybe it's the capital, I can't remember. Because, they like to put up an image that this is supposed to be like, so anybody that is homeless, the way they bundle these people, I think I've seen a video like that, but I just cannot remember which country it was. So homelessness is a thing, right? So what would have been the proper thing, if you say, as a security expert, right? If you say, okay, yes, we cannot take away homelessness from the reality of poverty and all of that, then how do we manage homelessness as a country? What are the better ways to say, okay, you know what, we know we have homeless people, but how do we go about, ensuring that, maybe they are taken care of, or I don't know what to say.
Well, as you rightfully said, there's always a right way to do things. You see the government right now clamping down on homeless individuals in certain high-profile areas. I can tell you, there are areas that they have not gone to clamp down on homeless people. But these high-profile areas where you have, a lot of complaints, we receive a lot of complaints, people that are, mobbed and things like that. So these are, stakeholders in the society saying, government, please, they are crying out every day. Check a lot of radio stations. People are crying out every day about issues of this. So government is listening and saying, okay, we are here to help. To remove these homeless people, they will remove them, they will profile them. They will not just remove them from there. They will interrogate them, ask them questions, try and fish out the ones that have, intel with kidnappers and all those other elements. Then the ones that actually do not have homes, we have a home plan like this. We call there's one we call this National Social Housing Program, NSHP. It's a program that the federal government is doing to give 34,500 units of housing to individuals. It's ongoing, but I cannot tell you how effective it is, due to, what we have in the country of compliance and follow-up and monitoring. But initially, this program, kicked off in the north, and they were giving people housing, a certain income level. Once you fall within a certain income level, you can go and apply for this housing, and you'll be given, and you pay small over the years. And so I feel that the best thing to do is, after getting these people off the streets, you interrogate them, make sure that they are not, they are not playing a role in criminal, things in society. Then you get them to, an affordable housing program, right, where they can, they can stay. Like you rightfully said, this issue of housing is worldwide. It's everywhere. You cannot fully take it away. As far as the issue of classism exists, there is always going to be issues of people that are homeless. But the right thing is that it's for the government to find a way to get them to affordable housing systems so that they can, get back fully into the society.
Okay. I like what you said about the national housing. You said NHSP. That's the national.
NHSP, yeah.
Okay. So now, the thing is, first of all, these people that are homeless, they don't have steady sources of income. So it would be tough for them to be able to even probably act. Even if that thing was available and the what's it called, the processes, you know, the processes was really smooth and clean and, you know, straightforward and all of that. Most of the people that are they are homeless, right? Most of them, I can bet you that most of them don't have any source of income. So it is just maybe at most is they go around begging, whatever they are able to get for the day, that's what they feed on and all of that. So my question is, right, if a government really wanted to solve the problem of homelessness, you know, how do they approach it holistically? Because you can't just say the housing scheme is available. It is the person that has money that will be able to even apply for that housing scheme, right? So when I heard that man talk about NIN, I said, okay, this one is a responsible citizen, because it means that he can be identified, right? So what would have been a better or a more holistic approach, you know, to addressing the situation around homelessness in Nigeria? Now, so many things have happened over the years. You know, a lot of these people that you see, you remember I don't know how well you know Lekki environs, the Jakonde story, yes, about that Circle Mall, how it was supposed to be like a village for all these homeless people where they stayed and all of that. So the government came, cleared that entire land, they built the Circle Mall. And the reports that we heard, the security report, is that every time there's any any unrest or whatever, they will always attack that mall because they feel like they displaced them unlawfully. So a lot of those people would cross to attack the mall, loot the mall and all of that because they were not properly, resettled. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. So a lot of times, right, these people, sometimes they have these clusters where they stay. When the government wants to probably develop the area and all of that, the government just comes and clears them out without any proper provision, right? So that already is a security risk because now you are everywhere. Every time I'm driving on Lekki Ekpe Expressway, I keep on praying to God that let nothing, like maybe like a sudden unrest or whatever happen. Because I've seen it happen before. They start to smash your windows and they start to loot things and all of it. It has happened before. So I know that thing is a big security risk. And when you go to every major junction on Lekki Ekpe Expressway, you see them in clusters. Like, it's like the numbers are multiplying every single time. And they are specific region.
Actually true.
Do you understand? They have specific region. It is between VI and Lekki. I think they stop at that Jakonde, right?
Aja, also
yes.
on that bit.
Yeah, no, but Aja is not as much because they don't really have, you know, I think they target the really prime areas. So when the government did not displace them appropriately, they now decided to become a menace, you know, in that entire region. So that's why I'm asking, what is the proper way to tackle homelessness from a security standpoint?
So, like you rightfully said, if we're talking about issue of them not being able to afford the housing program, what I can advise that should be done is when you get these people off the streets, you find a way to integrate them into the society. First of all, many of these people you see that are homeless, they are into drugs and a lot of other things that you don't want to know. So first things first, to get them rehabilitated, the ones that are into drugs and the likes, then you try to integrate them back into the society. You can get them jobs with other institutions that you feel maybe they can learn stuff like plumbing, tiling. You know, they can learn handworks. The ones that went to school that maybe drugs and stuff, maybe got them out of school along the line. You can see how you can get them back into, like now we have the student loan, you know, loan program going on. You can get them back into school free of charge on the government, you know. But like I said, first things first is to get these people off the streets because they pose a very serious security risk. While you've gotten them off the streets, you can now start looking for how to rehabilitate them and get them back into the society. You understand? Because if we don't look at what is happening as regard the security risk, people can get hurt. You won't say, okay, because you've not gotten a house for them or a plan for them to integrate back into society, then you leave them, you know, still hanging around everywhere in the street and stuff like that. It's going to cause more problems because these people, like you said, they're increasing every day in number. I'm telling you, they're increasing every day in number. They come from all over all over the nation. From different states, they come to Lagos because, I mean, Lagos is like, you know, the American dream kind of thing when it comes to Nigeria. So everybody is trooping to Lagos, and you cannot overlook the security risk that is involved. So once you get these people off the streets, I would say the government needs to look for a way to get them rehabilitated and get them, you know, back into the society by teaching them, you know, soft skills, whatever kind of skill, trading, sewing. There are a lot of things these people can learn, and they can, you know, use it to get daily bread for themselves and their families.
You know, there was a time that I think, which state governor was it that was telling some people to go back to their to their state? I can't remember which state governor, but you know, a lot of these guys, you know, are somewhat northerners, right? Another class of these homeless people or street people that I see, you know, the ones that they have amputated their arms. I don't know how well you know the northern laws, the Sharia laws, where if you go and steal, they cut off your arm and all of that. So you see them in their numbers, right, on the streets.
Yes.
So, you know, when you say rehabilitation, I'm just thinking in my head, what kind of skill will I train? Because these people are already now programmed to feel like I'm handicapped or something and I cannot do anything. So it will take a lot.
Sorry, you'll be surprised to know that begging is actually a business here in Lagos.
Oh, yes. I was coming there.
It's a business. So when you see these kind of people that you think they don't have hand, they don't have leg, you see them just begging, they are begging on behalf of someone. It's a $1 million naira business going on in Nigeria, especially here in Lagos. These people make as much as 20,000 naira a day. And you think, oh, the money is going to them. It's not going to them. It's going to the person that brought them to Lagos to come and beg.
Wow.
So you cannot overlook the fact that there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. There's the business aspect of this whole homelessness you're saying. There's the crime aspect. There's even the drug ring that goes on with these people you think they are homeless. Many of them are informers. Many of them are people that sell drugs for drug dealers. So there's a lot of negative, view
and it
to
seems
this.
like the negative outweighs any form of...
It outweighs any form of even sentimental. If you want to say you want to be sentimental about the situation, when you look at the negative aspect of it, you will not tell yourself, let me calm down with my emotions and really look at this critically. You understand? Because I won't lie to you, there are a lot of people that are being hurt on a daily basis. A lot of commuters in Lagos are being hurt on a daily basis by these people that you think are homeless. So we cannot overlook what is going on. I'm very happy that the Nigerian police and major stakeholders have, come together to say, okay, enough is enough, with this issue happening in Lagos.
Okay, let's go on a short break, right? When we come back from that break, we'll continue the conversation and, of course, try to shed more light on possible solutions. Stay with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, if you just tuned in, we are discussing the state of security and as it relates with this homeless situation that we're seeing. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. You can also send us an add me on WhatsApp so we can add you via video. You can also call our phone lines. The numbers to call are 07025007749 or 07014242420. Let's hear what you have to say. So, Elijah, so before we went on the break, right, I loved the fact that you were saying that by the time you check it's like checking the pros and the cons, right? By the time you check the cons of these homeless people being on the street, that it would kill every form of emotional bias that you have or sentimental attachment to it. I get it, and that's absolutely true. Is there a possibility where we can have, government build, would I say, I wouldn't call them houses. Then again, IDPs, you see, if as I'm talking about it now, it's just coming to my head. How well have those IDPs been managed? But I was just thinking, like, where people can just get bed spaces to sleep. Because I know that watching foreign movies, right, I've seen it, they say that, you get into a state and you don't have a home, you can usually apply, for like a bed space and they give them bed spaces. The only thing is that those people steal a lot. So most times you see the homeless person with all the possession that they have. They're always going everywhere with everything that they have, and all of that, just because of the volatility of the, the accommodation. But it does not mean that there's nothing. There's something. It's just that the thing is not, it's not a decent place. So is there any way, we can start to consider that kind of arrangement instead of having people sleep on the streets? Because sometimes I'm driving on the road and I see somebody on the bridge sleeping. I'm thinking, is this person dead? But no, the person is actually sleeping.
All right. So I understand where you're coming from. And it's a tough thing to do. Why I say it's a tough thing to do is because of the way our society is. You see, when you look at these people on the streets, in a way, the society has failed them. I won't really say the government has failed them, because the government is also an offshoot of the society. Whoever is your president, is your governor today, before he was president and he was governor, he was a normal member of the society before he got into the position he's occupying. So when you look at the society, you look at people on the streets and stuff like that, it just tells you that one way or the other, the society has failed these people. So the thing that needs to be done at this point in time is to see how we can, bring these people into the society. Because you see, the funny thing about this life is that we are all tied to each other. You see, at times when you go to the neighborhoods, you see very big fences, very massive gates and things like that. You'll be like, oh, wow, this person is so protected inside this compound. Yes, he might be so protected inside that compound, but he has to always come out of that compound to go about his daily life. And when he comes out of that compound, he goes back into the society.
Absolutely. You know what?
Yes.
Elijah, sorry, hold your thought. I think I have somebody on standby. Loma, thank you for calling. Good evening.
Good evening, my dear sister.
How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening, our guest. I want to let us know one thing. Those people out there, they are security risk to the nation. Those homeless people, they are security risk to the nation. It's quite clear. But I want to let you know that in as much as they are security risk to this nation, there is need for you to make sure that you build a home where you profile these people. Because in profiling them, you will know them one-on-one. You will know who they are, where they are coming from. The only thing that I don't like is seeing police harassing them. It's quite unfortunate. You don't use that way to, you don't arrest them. You don't hook up your trousers. It's an insult to mankind. So what you need to do, the state government, the federal government, local government, build a home, profile these people, know who they are, know where they are coming from. and know the reason why these things are happening to them, why they are homeless. By doing so, I'm telling you, you will stop insecurity in the land, you will stop hunger in the land, you will stop hopelessness and homelessness in the land. So please, let the security men be very, very circumspect in what they are doing. Let them be very careful. Let them be very careful. Let them not show, because if the world is saying it, if you go to other places, they are not being harassed that way. You will do it, remove them from the street, make sure you prefer them to know where they belong. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Loma. Elijah, I know, you see, this is the way the sentiment is. It's the manner to which they were apprehended. But you see, you were saying something very valid, and I wanted you to continue that thought so you don't lose it. Because you see, if you remember what happened when the reprisal after the NSAS protest, where people started going everywhere to go and loot and all of that, a lot of these estates that are so-called, guarded, protected estates, a lot of them started bringing out bags of rice, bringing out different kinds of things just to be able to calm the tension of these guys that are around, because they are all around us. Any little thing now that sparks or anything, they will be everywhere. So even that your high fence that you think you have, in a matter of 2 seconds, that entire fence is gone. They went into shopping malls. They went into different places. They looted everywhere. Just because some estates knew that they were coming. In fact, they said, please, no need to come. Come and take this money. Come and take this food item so that you keep us in peace. So they are truly a security risk, right? So how do we now combat this thing? Or how do we even stop it?
You say this thing, we say federal government or we say state government. I don't like when I hear things like that. It's a simple reason. The government is there to serve. But if you are not engaged with the government, how can you make the government serve you? They'll be serving themselves. So this issue of insecurity, it's not, it's a thing for the government to handle. No, you see, this is why programs like this that you're doing is very important, because it sensitizes the public that they need to, lend their voice, come out and be heard, if need be, even carry placards and, let the government know that, this thing is everybody's problem, because what is harming or hurting the low class or the middle class might not be harming or hurting the upper class. So if we don't look at this thing as everybody's problem, we'll be like, it's not affecting me, so I don't need to talk about it. But one day it will affect you. Like I said, I didn't really know the extent to which this thing was really, really hurting, people until it happened to me myself. I told you my car got spoiled and they almost robbed me myself. I had to psychologically take charge of the situation and make those boys work for me and pay them for working for me. If not, they would have obtained me that night. You understand? So this issue of homelessness, like I said, it starts from somewhere. The society has failed somewhere, right? You don't just see 5,000 homeless people. That huge number of homeless people you're seeing is as a result of something going wrong in the society.
Yeah.
And as we are seeing here in Nigeria, it's an issue of the economy. There's hunger, there's lack of job, there's lack of motivation. You can see even the school children, you can see the amount of failure we had in the exam that they just did. It's not because totally of the measures they put in place. These people are unmotivated because they are looking at their senior ones in the society that finished school 10 years ago. You never still get job. You never buy motor. You never get house. And they're like, school is a scam. So whatever is happening in society, there's like a ripple effect. If you don't, put a stop to one aspect, it comes back like a boomerang to other aspects in the society. So if we don't quickly look at the issue of this homelessness, you think it's an isolated event. It's not an isolated event. This homelessness will lead to issue of kidnapping. It will lead to issue of drug abuse and other things, rape. You understand?
Yeah.
So everything we key into it. So we need to, like the caller said, we need to look at a way to get these people off the streets. They are human beings. They are not animals. So we need to get them off the streets, in a proper way. You understand? Find how we can, profile them, know who is who. How did you get here? Who is your family? What were you doing? How did you get to this point? You understand? Do you have any skills? these things need to be asked, then find a way to integrate them back to the society.
Okay.
Because if you don't integrate them back to the society, they might end up back on the streets.
Absolutely.
And your job is zero.
Is futile. So I wanted to just say something because you touched it a little bit, and I want to ask you, how do you want us to isolate government from this, federal government and state government? You know why I asked this question? For the things you're saying, first of all, you are a security analyst, you're a security expert, and you know how important data is in terms of like information gathering and all of that. You know how powerful data is. As a country, we do not have a proper census. We don't even know who we are. We don't know our numbers. We cannot identify ourselves. That already is a big security risk. You understand? Because if anything happens, we're not able to adequately say that this and this and this are the people probably affected or whatever, because we don't have those numbers. So whenever we are calling on government, it is because there are certain things that the government is supposed to do, put in place. Then we on our own part, we cannot play our role, right? But as it stands today, a lot of the failure, right, that we are seeing today in the society, it is really hinged on the government. So I'm trying to understand how we can isolate the state government, the local government, and the federal government from this big challenge that we're having as it pertains to security and homelessness in Nigeria. How do we isolate them? People that were in their homes in Plateau, in what's it called, in Benue, you were sleeping, somebody came overnight and with guns, with different kinds of cutlasses, displaced people from their homes. Now these people are nowhere to be found. They are just there hanging. Those people are homeless. Do you understand? It's just a different kind of homelessness as well. And all of these things are actually tied to the fact that there's a failure in the system. And that system is largely controlled by the government. So how do we isolate it? I'm just trying to understand that part.
Thank you. As you said yourself, the issue we are having, like I said earlier, it's not an isolated event. These displacements you see happening in other states in Nigeria, these people that are being displaced, they have to go to other places. And their first choice of places are places like Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Rivers. These places, they've always been hearing that, oh, if you come here, you will make it.
It's El Dorado.
You understand? These are the places they come for. You understand? Once they get displaced from their own regions. So, but the issue is that you see when somebody, you reading the news, you hear somebody say, but now Kano it happen, now it concern me, no be Kano it happen, and no be Benue happen, it's not my business now. But you find out that that thing that you think is not your business, one way or the other, it will come back to harm you in the society. So I just want people to, stop this mentality of it's not affecting me, it's not my business, because whether I would like it or not, it's Nigeria, and since it's one Nigeria, there's no border. There's no interstate border. What you only have is border for Nigeria to Ghana to Togo. You don't have border between Lagos and Ondo or Ogun State. You don't have, you have a boundary, but you don't have a border.
Okay.
So because there's free flow of people, goods, and services, you cannot really totally stop the influx of these people 100% into your state, even if you want to. But the good thing about Lagos State now is that if you notice, there are a lot of cameras everywhere now in Lagos, true or false?
But are they functioning?
Sure they are actually functioning. Yes. People just think that, oh, these are just speed limit cameras. No, they are speed limit cameras, and the actual cameras that capture data.
Yeah.
You understand? Even if you go and buy a SIM card now in any MTN walk-in center, you find out that they will scan your thumbprint. These data have a way they are being collated. They will ask you for your name. If you want to get a job now, most places, they will ask you for your name. If you don't have NIN, they might not employ you.
So wait, Elijah, before we quickly, because as I was looking at the time, it's like time is running out. I want to ask a quick question. I don't know how well you're following the Senate. They resume plenary sessions, and they moved the motion that they want to move to organize a security summit to discuss the challenges of security in our country. You are a security expert. When I saw that video, I was laughing in Spanish. First of all, The Senate President Godswill Akpabio said, no. Let's not make it a 3-day summit. Let's make it a 2-day summit where, we tackle the issues of security. We talk about it, we dialogue, we deliberate. Have we not had several security summits in this country? Do you think security, right, a security summit is the solution that we need to our security challenges right now in Nigeria?
Well, the issue of security cannot be overemphasized. But when it comes to the security summit, the issue we have is that most of the ideas we bring and suggestions we give to the House, they are not majorly adopted. That is the issue. There's a bit of disconnect. When we profile solutions, we keep profiling solutions over and over and over and over again. And it looks like, we are not being heard. So most of the time, we don't even bother to prefer this solution. That's why most of us have gone private because, it's as if, that listening ear is not being given. But because of for the future of the society, we always still try to, key in into all these governmental, things to make sure that at least our voice, is still being put out there to let them know that there's a lot they need to do on their part as well. In as much as there's a lot we need to do, there's a lot they also need to do on their part to make Nigeria safer for everyone. So that's it basically.
So in summary, you don't think the security summit will make any difference?
Well, we'll see. Let me not go and jinx the summit before it finishes. But I'm actually hopeful. I like to be hopeful because
hopeful that what? I don't get it, Elijah. See, there's a problem. No, we have a problem in Nigeria. We know the problem. Okay, look at what is going on with homelessness, for instance. Get them off the streets, like you rightly said. Try to find a way to reintegrate them back into the society, maybe upskill them and all of that, and reintegrate them back into society. If you really want to solve homelessness, you must solve poverty. You understand? You must be able to provide something meaningful that they are gainfully employed so that they can, even if it is 2,000 naira per night or 1,000 naira per month or something they can pay. There are affordable, there are homes for every price point. You understand? There's a house you can pay 5,000 naira per month. There are different prices of houses for different price points. Do you get my point? So if you know that homelessness is a challenge that we're trying to solve, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to say, okay, you know what? Why are these guys homeless? They don't have a job. You understand? They are poor and all of that. What do we do? Upskill them. Now reintegrate them. Give them, something decent to do. Do you get my point? That way you have solved the problem of homelessness. At the same time, the security risk that they pose, you have also curbed it. We have security challenges in our country. And you say that the most germane thing as a Senate that you people could come up with was to organize a 2-day summit. How many conferences have we had in this country? Even apart from government conferences, even individual conferences. Oh, do this conference to make money, do this, that. How many of those conferences truly translate into direct impact that it changes the lives of people? So let's just let's not sugarcoat it, you understand? It's not a function of jinxing it. It's the fact that it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's already dead on arrival. That entire, whatever it is that will happen there, because there have been security documents that experts have put together and proposed to the government to be able to curb this menace, yet nothing has been done. So I don't know what a 2-day summit would do any difference. But let us not deviate anymore. Today is not for Nigeria. How do you think that, you said something about the consciousness of us as individuals, right? Being intentional and not say this thing no concern me. So if you really wanted to drive home a point today around homelessness and how we as people should approach it and how the government should approach it, what would your final thoughts be so that we can wrap up the conversation?
That as we always say as security experts, security is everybody's business. In as much as we have people that will say, oh, my job is security, but security is everybody's business. So what I would say to the listeners, today is, one, always be involved. Always be involved. Be aware of your surrounding, your environment. Situational awareness is very important. I cannot overemphasize the need for situational awareness. or when you go out of your home, your offices, it's very important you watch your surrounding and see if there are aliens in your surrounding. Very important. So always follow up with what's happening in your environment, in your society. Be involved. Don't do it's not my business, because one day it will be your business. 2, always lend your voice to what's happening, in the governmental sphere. Because I will tell you for a fact that the government listens, but it's when the masses speak, they listen. If the masses are not speaking in unison, they don't really pay as much attention as when the masses are speaking. So the more people, key into this issue of insecurity, the issue of inflation, and lack of jobs and all those things, the more we keep saying it, emphasizing about the need for the government to do something, that's when we'll be able to make an impact. If everybody just sits back and like, well, what if I talk, what will they do? I've been talking, what have they done? Nothing will ever happen. You understand? So there's need for all of us to come together as one and let our voice come out there to the government that enough is enough. Something has to be done, and done now, because the timeliness of anything that has to be done is also very important. If they take action in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, so they need to take action now before things go out of hand where it can be controlled. Because every day we see trucks and trucks of people that are being displaced coming into different states like Edo, like Lagos. Every day, trucks load of people, undocumented people are coming in. So we need to do something, and do something now before it gets out of hand.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and you also see society, you see some communities that have OPCs, they have all these watchmen and things like that. These things are helpful. Many of these people help, and they give information to the police. They work hand in hand with the police. Oh, in this my area, is these people I saw, they're always coming here, they look fishy. They call the nearest police station and they come and they take charge of these things. So it's important that our societies, our neighborhood, we have people that are, actual security personnel that are helping us watch, our neighborhood, instead of just always waiting for the government, to take charge.
Okay, thank you so much. I mean, that's a fantastic way to wrap the show. Thank you so much for your time. We're hoping we'll bring you back again to talk this summit matter that you don't want to put your mouth. I will call you after the finish the summit. We'll have the conversation again. But thank you. All right, so before we go, ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channels at Official Upgrade TV. You can interact with us further, drop a comment. Most importantly, please subscribe. We have another show coming up at 10 p.m. tonight. That's for Love Matters and all these things. The Heartlines matter, so you can watch us as well. Subscribe to our channel. So if you missed our quote for today, here it is again. It says, those who choose to undermine the peace and security of our communities must desist or be prepared to face the full weight of the law. So that was from the chairman of the task force, CSP Adetayo Akerele. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.